So I think you, Gabriel, is the hiking expert among us. You've been doing quite a lot of trekking.
Try to act like one.
Yeah.
One step in front of the other.
Okay.
And watch out for snakes.
All right. You just arrived from Nepal, right?
Yep.
So
Did a couple little hikes there.
a little something.
Yeah.
Like a week
Nothing
or
like this, you know, the Himalayas are, you know, not that big.
more like a hill?
Yeah.
East or?
It's straight north of Kathmandu.
Okay.
Maintain National Park. It's like you take a bus 8 hours straight north, almost to the Tibet border.
Is Annapurna the 3rd or 5th or something
I
highest
think it is the
peak?
10th tallest mountain in the world.
Okay. And this one was?
It's nowhere close. It's like the 99th or something like that. And so that is Long Tongue Nearing there.
What was pulling you towards that one?
It's a trek that I'd also done before, and because it is a little bit lower in elevation, then it's better to do in December, because this was like late December. And the Everest Base Camp trek or the Annapurna Circuit trek, for one thing, they're longer and they go up higher, and so there's more of a chance of, you know, a blizzard could come in and you could really be stuck back there for a while. And also it's just going to be colder while you're trekking. And so this one, I'd done it before in February, and so I knew it's fine to do in winter.
All right, let's check out the remainings.
The waterfall without any water.
Hey, hello.
You know, if there was rushing water right here, then this would be a great little jump right here.
Yeah.
Down into that pool.
Would be amazing.
It's only a few feet deep, so.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Hey.
Good to be here. Nice spot we found.
Yeah. I was like, welcome. I was about to say.
Welcome to our canyon.
Yeah. This is like our office where we do interviews and stuff.
We're all working right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this office.
Amazing spots.
Yeah. Nice that you showed us to us, Peter.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, we've been bumping into each other for a few years.
Almost a decade.
Yeah.
I think 2010, when I was in India, was when I first met you.
Yeah.
And then, because I have videos of you playing the flute by the waterfall.
Yes, by the waterfall.
At Rishikesh.
Yeah. Wow.
And our fourth country.
Yeah.
So India, Sweden, Greece, Thailand.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to stay connected with fellow travelers and
Exactly.
And for me, it's the first time I meet you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of interesting things about you, Gabriel, but one thing that comes to mind, and I think one thing that you're known for, is to be like a world traveler, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, can you tell us a few words of how that came to be, sort of?
How long have you been traveling?
So I started hitchhiking when I was a kid. We lived out this dirt road in Northern California, and it was like a 5-mile drive up a paved road and then a 1.5-mile drive up a dirt road. And so the school bus would drop us off at the bottom of the dirt road. It didn't go up that road. And so I would be stuck always having to walk, or sometimes I would get ride with family. But my parents both worked at the hospital, and oftentimes they couldn't give me a ride, and so I'd be stuck walking like 1.5 miles. And at some point, somehow I came up with the idea of hitchhiking it. And instead just sitting on the side of the road, reading a book, and wait for a neighbor to come along and then get a ride with him. And so that's like when my hitchhiking began. And then later when I was a teenager, I started hitchhiking all the way from town out to our house. So I already had that kind of hitchhiking, you know, base of being comfortable with the idea of doing that. And so I finally went to Europe the day after I turned 18, and I'd been ready to do that. You know, I was like so ready to get out of high school. So I set up this trip and started hitchhiking around the UK, and hitchhiked the whole length of the United Kingdom, from London down to Land's End in Cornwall, and then up to John O'Groats at the top of Scotland, and then over to Ireland across Ireland, and then started a train pass from there around the rest of Europe for the rest of that summer. So that was summer of 1990, and I didn't.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Did you write a book about this?
Yeah, Following My Thumb it chronicles my travels throughout the 1990s from Europe to India for the first time in 99 and 2000, and then in the middle of that, I didn't do any international traveling, but I was traveling like as a vagabond around the United States. A lot of hitchhiking, going to rainbow gatherings and festivals, and working on farms, and sleeping on the beaches of Hawaii, and working in Alaska. So it was all, United States traveling. And then went to India in 99, and then came back from there, and I didn't do any more international traveling again until 2006, went back to India again. And then since then, every year that I've traveled at least a few months, and mostly, more than a few months every year since then. So that's 14 years ago, yeah.
How many countries in total?
72.
72.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
How many kilometers?
Good question. I would love to know.
Something that comes to mind though is like I get the feeling like you're searching for something almost, like you're looking for something, like you're scanning the globe, like it's got to be here somewhere. Like do you have that within you? Like is there like a longing for something specific that you're kind of looking for, or?
Well, some of my travels have been like I was looking for a community to live on during the 1990s at one point, and I actually lived on several different communes in Washington State and in Hawaii. I was like in touch with these communities and like looking for a place to call home basically. But then other than that, then it's just one adventure leading to the next, and now it's become my job, and so that's further incentive to keep going.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did it become your job?
With the YouTube?
Yeah.
I just started randomly posting videos back in around like 2010, I was making the YouTube videos the first time that I met you, but I didn't know how to edit. And I was just making little random clips and posting them. And it was just a matter of, you document your travels with pictures, and then video comes along and digital cameras, and so it's just kind of the progression of that. And then YouTube was a new thing, and so I wasn't posting on there with any expectation that you could even make any money at all. But it was just a very slow thing of it becoming eventually making a few bucks a day to supplement the travels, and then making more than that, and then slowly building.
Now your job is to travel.
Yeah.
But so many people must be like, I want to have your life, kind of, right?
Yeah.
But it's not all glory and like roses, kind of, right? It's not always the...
No, definitely not. I mean, that's one of the things that I try to document in my, videos, is showing the reality of it, and, the brutal bus trip to the Himalayas, and what an unpleasant thing that is, and dealing with the cold, and, trekking in Nepal, whatever actually happens. Showing that, and then there's the whole element of that you don't really see in the videos of just being away from home and not having regular relationships, and that element of being a full-time traveler, that is definitely a factor, and something that I'm fairly used to an extent, but it definitely does also kind of tax you.
Do you have any type of routine to keep your sanity while you travel so much? Like I know you've been doing yoga, for example. You feel that kind of helps you to center yourself when you're so scattered across the globe?
I don't do it enough that that it's a routine. I'm very, very sporadic about the yoga, and like if I meditate, it's because I happen to wake up in the middle of the night and can't sleep, and so then I meditate for 20 minutes or something like that. But I don't have a regular routine. I mean, trying to do it with random rooms that are oftentimes too small to do yoga in, and it's just a little more difficult to get into the making it a regular thing in your life. I mean, really the videos are the kind of constant that's my main focus now, and what keeps me busy and gives me something to do with all the downtime and alone time, and of course, it's a major motivator when that's what's paying for your travels. And it's also fun and provides some structure and gives you more of a focus rather than just being kind of an aimless vagabond wandering around. Then I have a daily mission of keeping on top of things. If there's interesting stuff, I want to document it because I'm not going to be there again. And I mean, maybe not. And so that gives you a daily, kind of rhythm of sorts.
You have a little bit like this also, Peter. Like you kind of need like a mission. You can't just lie on the beach the whole winter in Thailand. You go crazy, right?
Yeah, I need a mission.
Yeah.
I recognize myself a lot also. I haven't traveled as much as you have, but I traveled some, and I traveled quite a lot for my work. I used to build plant walls, vertical plantations, and I've been everywhere. I've been in Dubai, Shanghai, I've been all over Netherlands, I've been in Germany, lots of different countries traveling. And I actually started yoga classes, I think 2 or 3 times. And maybe attending a maximum half of the classes until I realized, okay, it's difficult to keep a routine when you're traveling. So I have some meditation routine that I'm sometimes doing, but yeah, I totally recognize that it's not so easy. But
yeah,
when you have a goal,
like I think part of that routine is having an association with a place, like you have maybe your yoga room in your house or whatever. And also a consistent time, so that you're just kind of naturally going into that, whatever that is on a daily basis, or 3 or 4 times a week or whatever. When everything around you is changing every day, and your mind is preoccupied with travel planning, and then if it's filming and editing and stuff like that, and so you don't have quite the same kind of a focus that you have if you have a more regular routine life somewhere.
All right, so where are you heading next?
In 2 days I'm flying to Taiwan, and this will be my first time there, and I'm just there for 5 days, and then I fly back to the US to Los Angeles, but I have a 24-hour layover in Manila. That was just the way that the flight worked out. So I'll have 1 day I've been to the Philippines before, 1 day to wander around Manila, and then back to LA, and then going to Mexico for maybe like a couple of weeks, and then back to my mom's, probably in Northern California, to take a genuine break after 6.5, it's going to be like 7 months by that point of straight traveling. One of my longest trips. I've gone as long as 8 months straight before. So
that's a long time.
Yeah.
I think I traveled like for 10 months in India once, but that was also when I went to Nepal. And I don't know if you remember, but the other day I told you like I left Sweden with like
1,500 euros, you said, or something?
1,500 euros on my pocket.
Well, I went to India for 5 months on a little bit less than that. I think it was like $1,300 or something like that.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago. India's, especially then, was even cheaper. Like you were saying, you had a room for 20 rupees or something like that.
Yeah, in Nepal, on the same trek, on Annapurna trek, in the beginning of the trek was a room for 20 Nepalese rupees.
How much is that?
How much is that?
Well, now that would be 20 cents. That would be like 17 cents.
Wow, that's cheap, huh?
Yeah.
But it was the worst room I ever had also.
Okay.
Yeah. It reminds me of a room that me and Peter had in Indore.
Oh yeah, that one. That's a good story.
That's a very good story. Can we tell it quickly?
Because I can tell this one quickly. So we found we've been traveled quite a lot.
We came from Goa. We were going to Omkareshwar.
Omkareshwar, yeah. And we ended up in a pretty big city, I think, called Indore. And we arrived in the middle of the night, just grabbed a room in the hotel, and basically went to sleep. And after sleeping like 1 hour or something, someone come and knock on the door and tell us something in Hindi or whatever language. And of course we don't understand. It's like, sorry.
There's no foreigners in this city at all. We didn't see anyone else.
I've heard of the city, but never stopped through there. Maybe on a threw it on a train. I can't even think of what state that would be in, like Maharashtra or something.
Yes, something like that. Yeah. So he's like saying something in Hindi and looking at
something very important.
I was like, shit, it's 1 o'clock in the night, man. What do you want?
What can it be?
How can we help you? I was like, sorry, there's no way to communicate here.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay. He also gave up. So I was like,
and then left.
All right, yeah, okay.
We fell asleep again, and 1 hour later, knock, knock, knock on the door. like, what do you want? And same story.
Yeah.
And then it happens again.
Like several times.
Several
whether
times.
like an hour or an hour. The whole night was like that, you know.
And I'm sleeping. I'm after a while, I'm not even getting up. And Victor is getting more and more irritated.
I was really angry at one point.
And to the story is also that it's not the same person coming. Yeah. It's different persons coming, you know. And in the end, you get so angry.
What do you want?
You have to tell me what you want.
I want to sleep. You have to leave us alone.
In the middle of the night, why are you even up?
Like, if you knock one, I'm not paying for this room.
and then in the morning when we get up, I go outside, open the door, go outside, and then there's a light on the outside of the door. Oh. Then there's on the inside of the room, there's a button. Like on a flight, you know, if you want something on a flight, you press a button and there's a light. So this light was shining outside our door, and then the staff thought, okay, we want something.
Yeah, passing by, and it's like, okay, the light is on. We need to, like, what do you want? Is room service or something like that, you know?
Because it wasn't like a ceiling light. It was like on the wall.
Yeah, outside the
like
door.
Like some indicator light.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I think that was connected down to the reception, and there's different people coming in the reception, seeing like the light on room 52 is, okay, I gotta go there.
I see.
On the top floor, like, check what these crazy people want.
There were people coming like 5, 6, 7 times.
Yeah. Such a funny story. I was so angry in the morning. I was like, yeah, and they're like, no English. I was like, there was no way.
But none of them thought to turn that light off, and
it's India.
Because obviously the switch was in your room. Like,
it's India.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's India.
Probably
it's funny. Like a few years later, it's a very funny story.
Yeah.
I always laugh when I think about it. You know how angry I got.
Probably the person told us, "Why don't you turn off the light then?" And we're like, not understanding anything.
Yeah. Don't get angry at me. You have the light on.
I'm attending to you.
I'm trying to help you.
I'm doing my job.
I'm falling down here.
That's one of the reasons you go to India, is you have these wacky experiences like
that. Yeah, there's nothing like India, right? There's nothing. I guess you know better than anybody. Is there anything like India?
There isn't. I mean, for the most extreme traveling, like I was traveling on that road trip in Iraq, and I remarked to the guy, like, we're in, one of those countries that people, it's just like a no-go zone, like, don't go there, it's crazy, whatever. And we're like, you know what, this is so much more mellow than India. India is, even though it's popular, it's just the most extreme place. I mean, maybe Bangladesh is even another little bit of a level beyond that or something, because I haven't been there yet. But there's just nothing like it.
And that's why I kind of got hooked on India as well. I wanted something that was as different as possible to Sweden. Like, I was so fed up with Sweden. I was like, I want to go to another planet, you know?
Like a shock to the system.
Yeah, like, I really want something else. And India was hitting the spot. Like, you're in a different world, my friend. Like,
Sure.
And there's just so much to see and experience there. It's
so endless.
Places like Omkareshwar that you mentioned, like you hear about these places. You go for the first time and you go to Delhi and you go to the Taj Mahal and Jaipur and all that, and then you just keep hearing about these other places that you're curious to see, well, what's that about? And it's something weird and unique. And
for sure. Have you been?
Yeah, sorry.
Have you been to Africa?
I've been to Morocco and Egypt.
Because that's what I think. I've been to a few other countries also in Africa, and that's also for me, it's totally different,
Yeah.
The culture is so different, and the climate and the people, everything, the food. So that's, I mean, I've been to Zimbabwe. Actually, we went there we planned to do a documentary, and it was pretty dangerous when we did it, but everything went well.
Politically, you mean? There was...
Yeah, it was, what's his name? Mugabe?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Robert Mugabe. He basically cleaned the streets, in different ways, taking out the poor and and he had all different agents all around, so you never knew. We had problems to get the proper papers, so in the end we just did it anyway. So that was the hazard, I would say. But it went well.
You think you'll come back to Kopangan?
I would definitely, yeah. Without hesitation, I'd go for it.
Stay longer, huh?
Yeah.
And more time to really relax into it.
Yeah. See
so
what's
much
really
to
happening.
explore.
It's a good place. But I'm curious, out of all these places you've been, I mean, India stands out. Is there any specific spot or spots or any specific experience that you feel like, wow, this is amazing?
In India or
Just
around the
in
world?
general, in all these years you've been traveling.
I mean, I like the variety of different places, and so whenever people ask me like, what is my favorite country or place, I don't have an answer for that, because it depends on kind of what I'm in the mood for. I mean, sometimes I'm in the mood for like cold weather, going to Finland, northern Finland, you know, in the winter, and 15 below zero, and experiencing what that's like. You know? Because
I was just at
I
home.
know how it is.
I was at home
know where to
watching
go.
this video. I was just shaking my head. Why is he going even further north? Like, come on, it's Gabriel.
it's going to get colder.
Don't
That's
go
the way it
there.
works. Yeah.
There's nothing to get there.
Yeah. Greece is one of my favorites. Just, I love the vibe there. I love the food, the people. It's like, it's the polar opposite of India for me.
Why is that?
Because it's like minimal hassle. The culture is much more reserved. You don't, you know, India, you go to India and you just get local contact, like oftentimes more than you want. But you do get that people wanting to talk with you and take pictures with you, and you know, these strange experiences with the people. And then Greece is a much more reserved culture. They just kind of don't pay you any mind, other than obviously, you know, they're friendly. You go to the restaurants and stuff like that. But especially out on the islands, then they're super quiet, and the villages are oftentimes quite abandoned. And it's just very serene, and I love the landscapes, just kind of these weird barren landscapes, and the calmness of the sea, and like super clear water, and amazing beaches, and
Good food, huh?
yeah,
And we had some good food when we were there last time.
yeah, absolutely.
I was constantly forgetting what the things were. You were just reminding me. Oh, is that? Don't you remember you had it yesterday?
Because it's some weird, because there's always some weird name that you can't
Yeah.
remember anyway.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like there are certain countries that are just kind of more packed with places to see, and Greece is like that, and that it's a kind of a smallish country, but I mean, I've been to 25 Greek islands, and there's tons more that I'd like to go to the next time, and interior mountains, and
my cousin is actually Greek Cypriot, so I have a family on Cyprus, and the reason is because my mother's sister was a travel guide in Greece, and then she met a Cypriot man, and they moved to Cyprus and had a kid.
Okay.
So I go there sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, you've been to Cyprus then?
Yeah, a few times as well. Yeah. It's kind of the same culture, I guess.
It is, similar.
Yeah. It's interesting here in this valley. We keep hearing like a sound check for a kick drum. It's like 1, 2, and then dunk, dunk.
And you can hear a voice.
Yeah,
just
somewhere.
kind of waves in and out with the wind every once in a while. Like, so there's some kind of a
thing going
preparation
on.
for a
Always
concert
lots of
going
different
on.
stuff going on this island.
Some concert in the jungle down here somewhere.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that happens here, is
Yeah.
crazy rave in the middle of nowhere somewhere.
Yeah. So is there any, maybe the last thing you want to say about your channel, or we'll post a link also? to
Yeah,
your
Gabriel
channel?
Traveler, and it's just like non-stop travel videos, 3 to 5 times a week or so. And
What's the best way to get down?
there's a rope over here, and I think that's your only option.
Over there?
Over here by that tree, so you can check it out. Yeah.
I would actually, last time I did it, I went up there and then around down there.
And how far is the waterfall?
This is it.
This is it right here. It's just there's no water.
Oh, this is the waterfall?
You'll see, if you stand on that rock, you'll see it's a cliff, and then that would be a waterfall if there was water.
If there was water,
Yeah.
Haven't rained enough.
Yeah, so do you have any more thoughts, Peter?
Not really. It's really interesting to hear, you know.
Yeah, Gabriel Traveler, check it out.
Yeah.
adventure travel content and more to come.
Yeah, check out the links below.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Happy trails.
See you next time.